Good afternoon. Welcome to Lunchtime News. I'm Jackie Wimbiro. Sign language interpreter is Lensa Odinga. Now, to kick off this broadcast, President William Ruto has defended the agreement with the United States government to put up an Ebola facility at the Laikipia Air Base. The president says he okayed President Donald Trump's request because the U.S. government has played a key role in supporting Kenya's response to public health challenges such as HIV, as well as the COVID-19 pandemic. He also told off critics, saying the facility exists solely to protect the health and well-being of both U.S. and Kenyan citizens.
President William Ruto on Monday night broke his silence on the Kenya-US deal to build a quarantine facility for US citizens exposed to Ebola virus in the Democratic Republic of Congo.
When President Trump asked the government of Kenya to support them by having a center in Laikipia Air Base, I gave the okay because it was an agreement and a partnership with friends who have worked with Kenya for 30-40 years.
In a media roundtable in Wajir, the president said the agreement was mutually beneficial to citizens of both Kenya and the United States.
What the American government is doing is to work with us in partnership to build the capacity to make sure that if ever we needed a facility, that facility will be there to serve the people of Kenya and to serve our friends, including the Americans.
While defending the deal, the head of state further indicated that the facility being established at Laikipia Air Base is part of a broader national preparedness strategy.
The fact that we could end up with a case is not far-fetched. We have security people serving in Congo DRC. We have thousands upon thousands of Kenyans in DRC. If for whatever reason they were to become victims of Ebola, we would have a responsibility as a country to treat them.
The quarantine center, President Ruto mentioned that it was part of other 23 similar facilities established at the Kenyatta National Hospital, the National Police Service Hospital, Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital, Kenyatta University Teaching, Referral and Research Hospital, and Nalupe Hospital, among others.
I am wondering why anybody would want to politicize, to mobilize negative politics on a matter so serious as a pandemic. You know, we are a responsible government. We know what we are doing.
According to the head of state, Kenya is screening an average of 3,000 visitors at all entry points daily, with no single case recorded so far. Giverson Maina, Lunchtime News.
Now, Busia County Governor Paul Ituma and his deputy have assured residents that adequate measures have been put in place to prevent the spread of the deadly Ebola virus into Busia County and other border towns. The two leaders say the county government is working closely with national government agencies to strengthen surveillance and screening at all entry points along the Kenya-Uganda border. They also urged residents to observe high standards of personal and environmental hygiene and remain vigilant to prevent the entry and spread of the disease.
Sisi hapa kama serikali ya Busia County already tumedeploy teams kwa hizi mipaka zote. Tumeweka teams pale, nimewaeleza tuweke pesa kidogo tuweze kufacilitate our community health workers waweze command across the whole border so that at least we do better screening and then have an isolation center. Kwa sababu tulikuwa na shida ya COVID, hatungependa tena Ebola ikuje isumbue watu wetu. I think we are collaborating with all other government agencies and security agencies to make sure kwamba hiyo shida haikui.
Na mimi nawaomba nyote, ndugu na dada, vijana kwa wazee, tafadhali jihadhari. Please be careful. Avoid contact. Osha mikono ndio watu wetu wakae salama.
In other news, the Kenya Red Cross has come to the aid of communities affected by flooding in Chalaluma and neighboring areas of Lamu County battling waterborne diseases. Speaking during the medical outreach exercise, the Lamu County coordinator for the Red Cross Society, Abdul Hakim Abdu, said cases of diarrhea, fever and skin infections are on the rise in the area due to flooding. Dr. Marion Muli, a doctor at one of the facilities in the area, says floods have contributed to an increased risk of diseases caused by contaminated water and poor sanitary conditions, urging residents to maintain proper environmental hygiene, use safe water for domestic use, and follow guidance from health professionals to protect themselves.
Baada kufanya zoezi hili ilikuwa kuna magonjwa mengi ambayo kwamba tumeona yameibuka na kuna haja ya watu kusaidika, especially wakati huu ambapo kwamba kuna mambo ya floods na mafuriko. Shirika pia tukishirikiana na department ya public health ama department ya medical services kwa jumla, tumekuja kuleta zile water treatment tablets ambapo kwamba ni pur na nyinginezo, na wanajamii wameelezewa, wamekuwa sensitized pia watumie zile madawa.
Na tuko na changamoto ya hii maji ya mafuriko. Hii madawa haya yatasaidia kwa kinga ya mwili yetu.
Upande wa prevention, yani upande wa public health ama upande wa usafi katika mambo ya maji, kuosha, kuchemsha maji kabla ya kunywa, kuhakikisha kwamba tunaosha mikono, kwamba tunaosha chakula, sana sana mboga na matunda.
Still on health matters, concerns are growing over the rising cases of student unrest in schools across the country, prompting renewed calls for stronger mental health and psychosocial support systems within learning institutions. The government has been urged to deploy professional psychologists in schools to help address underlying emotional and behavioral challenges that often contribute to unrest. The proposal seeks to strengthen existing guidance and counseling departments by introducing trained mental health professionals who would work closely with teachers, principals and boarding staff to identify early warning signs and support affected students.
As the country tried to come to terms with the deadly Utumishi Academy incident, where a fire started in one of the dormitories led to 16 fatalities, there is a growing call to find a proactive solution to challenges affecting students in schools.
Nyinyi wazazi mna jukumu la kuangalia watoto wenu. Watoto wenu mnaketi nao wakati mrefu. Wanaenda shule peke yake kwa muda mchache. Tunataka shule kuende watoto wakasome, hatutaki wakora. Mimi nikijenga shule, ile shule ni pesa ya umma, ni pesa yako. Kwa nini mtoto wako akachome shule?
While parents are being asked to take a more active role in instilling discipline and moral values among children, the government has also been urged to deploy professional psychologists in schools to help address underlying emotional and behavioral challenges that often contribute to unrest.
In as much as wako na haki zao, inabidi tujikaze pia sisi kama wazazi, ili tuhakikishe nidhamu ya wanafunzi iko juu.
Zungumza na mtoto wako atakapokuja nyumbani kwa likizo ndogo, ili adumishe nidhamu na asiaibishe jamii ya Kaloleni.
Meanwhile, Baringo Central MP Joshua Kandie is now proposing the deployment of professional psychologists in senior schools.
Maybe I will try and bring a bill in parliament so that we station psychologists for every senior school in Kenya, so that watoto wetu.
Supporters argue that while discipline remain important, punishment alone cannot address the complex social and emotional challenges facing modern learners.
Tuhakikishe tumeongelesha watoto wetu vizuri. Ya pili, teachers should be able to detect any change of behavior of our learners.
Reporting for Lunchtime News, I'm Aaron Marie.
Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers Mary County Executive Secretary Maurice Njera has called for a review of education policies to strengthen discipline management in schools. This was the clarion call during a tree planting and environmental conservation exercise. Separately, Principal Secretary for Forestry Gitonga Mugambe has cautioned the public against destruction of property during demonstrations, urging citizens to embrace peaceful and lawful ways of addressing their grievances. Mugambe was speaking in Meru during the Madaraka Day fete.
Let us tell our youth, let us tell our young people who are in school, please, for heaven's sake, let us be disciplined. Nanko ile school chetu, aribu betu, please also ensure we follow the guidance given by the government of our dormitories, of our kitchen, so that our children are confined within areas where we have guidance which are good.
Of education, review the policy, because things started going wrong when the issue of corporal punishment. It is not that I'm advocating for it, but if you look at it closely, even shouting at the students is corporal punishment. And that is now when the teachers felt that the ministry is protecting the child more than the teacher. And that is where the discipline began going wrong.
The Ministry of Health has sanctioned daily meetings to assess and react in case of an Ebola outbreak. Speaking this morning at Afya House, Public Health and Professional Standards Principal Secretary Mary Muthoni said the country has not confirmed any case so far. According to Muthoni, all measures have been put in place to deal with any Ebola threat, with over 1,000 health officers trained in case the disease is reported in the country. Further, she says Kenya will demand exit surveillance reports for all travelers certified by authorities from the origin country, as well as a detailed screening report. The PS noted that 25 counties have been categorized as either very high risk or high risk. The very high risk counties are Uasin Gishu, Busia, Kisumu, Bungoma, Trans Nzoia, Siaya, West Pokot, Turkana, Homa Bay and Migori. Meanwhile, Safina Party leader Jimmy Wanjigi has urged the government to abandon plans to establish an Ebola quarantine facility in Kenya, saying the safety of all citizens must come first.
We have a total of suspected Ebola virus disease samples that have been tested, which is 22 as at this morning, and all of them have turned negative. We also are going to demand to ensure that there's screening from the country of origin before getting into our country, and everybody must produce evidence that they have been screened from the 10 countries that we are already screening at our ports of entry.
Quarantine hakuna hiyo, hatutaki. Hata Amerika, hata Trump amekataa mambo ya quarantine huku kwake. Anasema Waamerikana wawezi kufika huku kwake kama wako na hiyo Ebola. Sasa tunawaleta hapa nini?
The county government of Kirinyaga has plans to promote its health workers, dispelling fears of interruption of services due to a planned go-slow by a section of the health workers. Addressing media are the Kerugoya County Referral Hospital Medical Services Public Health and Sanitation Chief Officer Dr. Mureithi Nyaga said budget proposal for the promotion and redesignation is awaiting the county assembly's approval. He added that the county government has onboarded 237 casual employees into the integrated county payroll system, issued personal numbers and their salary arrears paid in full.
The county government of Kirinyaga has noted the intended go-through by a section of healthcare workers, and it wishes to address the concerns raised while assuring the public that health service delivery across the county will remain uninterrupted. One of the issues is payment of casual laborers' wages. In line with the national directive to streamline the management of casual wages, the county government has initiated the process of onboarding casual workers into the integrated county payroll system, which has now replaced the manual payment of wages.
County executive have already allocated the budget. It's in the county assembly. That is like 2 weeks ago. So it is not something that has not been done, that has been done today. We already have the budget in the county assembly, and there's a chair and my members of this committee.
In other news, escalating cases of defilement in Vihiga County took center stage during Madaraka Day celebrations at Hamisi Stadium, with leaders raising concern over the growing trend of sexual violence against minors led by Vihiga Governor Wilbur Otichilo and Hamisi Deputy County Commissioner Ruth Lorette. Leaders warned that the county is recording alarmingly high cases, placing it among the most affected in the western region. Authorities say the latest incident have sparked outrage after a police officer attached to Gambogi police station was arrested over allegations of defiling a minor and is expected in court. In a separate case, a high school student was reportedly gang raped and murdered, raising fresh concerns over insecurity and protection of children. Vihiga Police Commander Daniel Churchill warned that no suspect will be spared, adding that such cases will be handled through the justice system and not formal settlements.
Mtu ambaye anajaribu kuongelesha mtoto wa shule ashikwe mapema hiyo. Chiefs, mfanye kazi, sababu tunawategemea nyinyi, ndio mnatuletea reports kutoka kule mashinani, isifike katika hilo kiwango ambayo tunafika kwa sahihi. Walimu pia tunaomba ya kwamba mkiona mtoto ambaye tabia yake imeanza kubadilika, share with the security officers, tuweze pia kusaidia watoto wetu kwa mapema.
Maneno ya defilement imezungumziwa hapa. Kwa hivyo sisi tumezungumza na county commissioner na leadership ya county na tumekubali kwamba tuje na mpangilio ambao utaona kwamba hili jambo tunalishughulikia namna gani.
Now, a non-governmental organization has donated wheelchairs, crutches and sanitary pads to vulnerable populations in Masee Town, Machakos County. The initiative is part of a countrywide program aimed at helping the less privileged and keeping girls in school during their menstrual cycle. Speaking during the event, Masisia Foundation CEO Julius Masisia Musyoki confirmed that he distributed wheelchairs, walking sticks, sanitary towels and bursaries worth 500,000 shillings to over 100 needy students. He noted that the program focuses on access to education for school-going children and empowering persons with disabilities, access wheelchairs and walking sticks. Douglas Moendo Musili, who was using an improvised walking stick, was among the beneficiaries of a wheelchair, which he says improves his mobility.
Make sure Mwala hatuna watoto wana shida, especially masomo. That's why I'm looking for well-wishers na partners ndio tuweze kuangalia jinsi tutapanua hii na tusaidia watoto wengi as many as possible within Mwala. I'm targeting kusomesha watoto wengi within Mwala. Also targeting kusaidia watu wetu wale wana shida na mobility. That's why napeana wheelchairs, that's why napeana crutches.
Hii Masisia Foundation imenisaidia sana siku ya leo. Mimi natoa shukrani kwa Mungu sana. Mungu amsaidie na ambarikie.
Now, residents of the Manda village in Sigona Ward, Kikuyu constituency, are now calling on the Department of Mental Health in Kiambu County to consider mental awareness programs in the area after the surge of suicide cases. In a recent case, a middle-aged woman lost her life in a suspected suicide case led by Community Policing Chairman Peter Kipero. They said recently depression cases in Sigona Ward are on the rise, with some attributed to economic pressures. At the same time, Kibera urged Mental Health Department in Kiambu to introduce counselling offices in all wards, where he lamented about the long distance in seeking mental awareness programs in Kikuyu sub-county.
Anaenda wakiongea kwa barabara, kwa maana nao tena hiyo shida ikifika anafikiria kunywa madawa ndio njia yake ya kujisaidia. Anakunywa madawa kidogo kidogo, hana akili mzuri, unakuta ako kwa barabara akiongea akiokota makaratasi. Ni wengi sana.
Kamau ama jina linalojulikana ya Mtage Thurai, the son of never give up, jika kama huduma ambapo wakati unapoona mmoja wetu ama jirani yetu ana shida ya mental health, anahitaji kukimbizwa na at least kuna kuwa na madawa, sababu kuinaweza katengeneza na kukose dawa.
Students at Kiambu National Polytechnic are increasingly gaining hands-on skill in automation, robotics and modern manufacturing systems through industrial mechatronics training, preparing them for the rapidly changing job market. Kiambu National Polytechnic Chief Principal Sami Waititu says the institution has positioned its mechanical and industrial mechatronics engineering department as a hub of advanced automation and robotics training through investment in state-of-the-art infrastructure. Under the approach, students spend 50% of their time in the classroom learning and the remaining 50% acquiring practical skills through industrial attachment and workplace experience.
We have partnerships with Bamberg School in Germany in industrial mechatronics, and we now have another one with Adding School and the Hugapaen for the hospitality workers. These young men and women who am excited by their proficiency in Germany will be traveling to Germany to work and learn.
We have this Kiambu National Polytechnic Center here, one of the centers of excellence which we support, and it's a good example of our cooperation, and we're of course looking forward for further more cooperations like these in centers of excellence.
Moving on, the Directorate of Criminal Investigation are holding a 44-year-old man over allegations of cybercrime. Through its X account, the sleuths say they arrested Edwin Gathangi Waiguru in Kerigiti, Kiambu County over the dissemination of content advocating for treason. According to DCI, the publication shared on the suspect's official Facebook page, christened Kinta Kinte Second, outlined the elaborate plan calling for sustained street demonstrations in June 2026, targeted arson attacks, tax boycotts, and the establishment of a parallel transition government. The DCI say the content was beyond lawful political expression and bordered on incitement aimed at destabilizing the government. The suspect is said to be an ordained former Roman Catholic priest. Kajiado Governor Joseph Ulilenku has opposed the ongoing fencing of Sabu West and Cholo National Parks, warning that the move could negatively affect wildlife conservation within the Amboseli ecosystem. Speaking in Kajiado, Lenku said the fencing project comes at a critical time as the county prepares to assume management of Amboseli National Park under a new revenue sharing agreement with the national government. The governor noted that local communities have dedicated large areas of land as wildlife dispersal zones and migration corridors, allowing animals to move freely between Amboseli, Sabo West, Shule Hills and Mount Kilimanjaro. According to Lenku, restricting this movement could force more wildlife onto community land, increasing cases of human-wildlife conflict and potentially affecting tourism, a key economic activity in the region.
We know by law that national parks are supposed to be fenced, but that happens in an ideal situation where there are no wildlife in the community. The community bordering Chulu and bordering Savo is hosting huge numbers of wildlife in their ranches. If you fence off the park, it means you have fenced wildlife into the communities, but it also means we have undermined our efforts to create roaming space for wildlife to connect Amboseli to Chulu, Amboseli to Savo, Amboseli to Kilimanjaro heartland. So I encourage that we go back to the table as the family of Kajiado and give sound guidance that will help our wildlife, help our community, foster peace.
Morongo County marked its Disability Day with the launch of its 4th therapy center aimed at improving services for children living with disabilities. Speaking during the event at Maragua Level 4 Hospital, the director of the Kenya Institute of Special Education, Norman Kiogara, called for greater inclusivity of children living with disabilities.
So it helps to improve their social skills, helps in their interaction with one another. We've been able to impart knowledge to parents and caregivers and also teachers in special schools on how to better care for children. We've also received a lot of inquiries from members of the public on ways of how to take care of children. Here today, it's not just a sports day. We even have occupational therapy. We're really trying to enhance their skills, interact with them and have fun with the kids. So we now understand the spectrum of children with disabilities, what it takes to take care of them, what support we can give to them.
Well, that report brings us to a fast break here on Lunchtime News. Don't go too far, we still have more news coming up.
What's up?
It's you! Oh, wow. How can you recover so quickly?
My brother's a spirit host. This is nothing for him.
They'd come at me together. What's with this two at a time crap?
Now I know how you're able to be a Requiem General, even though you don't have a guardian spirit.
Josh! Nani wache hivyo mamake bila hata kumpea notice?
Niite wazee wa nyumbani, waje wakuongeleshe, angalau utaelewa.
Na mbona tupate mtoto mwingine baba Kevin, na ilhali Kevin anaweza leta mchukuu tukalea?
Wewe ni mwanamke very strict.
Kwa hapa nje tuongee tujuane.
Vijana wengi wamejisajili kwa kura.
Hiyo ndio ilikuwa plan yangu kabisa.
Unajua kazi vizuri sana.
Wewe zani na Andrew.
Una uhakika?
Andrew wangu akubali kushindwa.
Waliubeba msalaba. Endo fanye kazi kama wananchi wengine, sio kuibia watu na jina la kanisa.
Unaongeleshaje mtumishi wa Mungu?
Matilda, saizi kanisa inadaiwa milioni ngapi?
Basta kunyukura magondo. Cassandra, sio mslow vile unafikiria. Wewe huyu niachie.
Wananitagundu
Welcome back. This is Lunchtime News. Residents of Larry constituency have welcomed the government's plan to resume construction of the long-stalled Githunguri-Roiro Uplands Road, which links key transport corridors in the region. The 4 billion shilling project, first commissioned in 2018 but stalled before completion, is set for revival under a new implementation plan. During a public participation forum led by the area MP Mboro Kahangara and Kenha, residents were urged to cooperate with contractors and avoid interfering with the road beacons and reserves. They also assured locals of job opportunities, noting that the project will boost connectivity and economic growth in Larry constituency.
Zingine ambazo zimeshikana tumepewa na serikali na tumewekewa takriban bilioni 4.2 na hii barabara yote itakuwa kilomita 53. Hii barabara imetusumbua muda mrefu, ilikuwa advertised tena 2017 na kutoka hapo mbeleni zaidi ya miaka 10 na kitu 20 imekuwa ikitusumbua, lakini sasa wakati umefika. Tunashukuru serikali kwa sababu tayari tumepewa contractor.
Lakini kwetu tunazita controls, manake ndizo zina control information yote katika barabara. Hizo vitu msing'oe, manake mking'oa mnarudisha survey nyuma sana, kabla aanzie tena mahali alianzia arudi tena unapata atashapoteza karibu wiki 2.
Hii barabara tuliahidiana itakapoanza ianze Nyambari. Hiyo tu ndio bila barabara ianze Nyambari ikielekea pande hii.
Residents from across Mombasa County have launched the Jamvila Athi Makao na Mazingira movement, a grassroots platform bringing together representatives from 26 communities aimed at addressing long-standing land, housing and environmental challenges affecting communities in the county. Speaking during the launch at Tononoka Methodist Wesley Church Hall in Vita Sub-County, the association's chairperson John Tsuma said the movement was formed to create a united platform for communities facing common challenges.
Na hii vuguvugu tumekuja pamoja kama jamii, wale ambao wameathirika na mambo ya land, wale ambao wanaathirika na mambo ya housing, na wale ambao wanaathirika pia ambao tuko pamoja nao na mambo ya mazingira. Kuja kwetu pamoja ni kuhakikisha kwamba tunapigana sote kwa sauti moja na tunasaidiana sote tukienda barabara moja. Maana tumeona pia viongozi wetu mara nyingi hawatusikizi na hawatusaidii, na unapata shida zingine ni zatoka ukoloni. Mambo ya land inatoka ukoloni na mpaka sasa hii janga kama hili halijatatuliwa mpaka sasa. So tumesema wacha tuje pamoja tuweza kusukuma hizi taasisi za serikali tukiwa pamoja. Kama ni ofisi tuenda sote tukiwa pamoja ili wajue kwamba jamaa na jamii zimechoka kungojwa na zimechoka kufurushwa kwa manyumba na majumba, ili hali wengine wanajitajirisha na hii mali ya umma.
Stakeholders at the Inclusive Africa Conference 2026 have called for greater digital accessibility to ensure persons with disabilities are not left behind in Africa's growing digital economy. The conference brought together government officials, technology firms and disability advocates to discuss inclusive technology, accessibility standards and the role of AI in advancing inclusion. Speakers urged governments and technology developers to make accessibility a priority when designing digital services, noting that many persons with disabilities still face barriers in accessing information, financial services and online platforms. Participants also emphasized that while artificial intelligence represents new opportunities for inclusion, accessibility must be built into digital products from the start to prevent further exclusion and ensure equal participation in the digital economy.
Accessibility can no longer be viewed as a specialized concern. It is a fundamental requirement for inclusive development. We cannot speak of a successful digital economy if sections of our population remain unable to access the opportunities that technology creates.
The gaps that are there currently are as simple as persons with disabilities. And for example, let me give an example of someone who is blind. You might find that to use a mobile money application, Sometimes they have to give their PIN number to someone else to go ahead and transact for them, simply because this mobile money application was not designed with their needs in mind. So we are coming in to help support companies.
And now let's talk business. Kenya Railways is targeting to haul 5,000 tons of cargo daily between Nairobi and Nyahururu following resumption of rail operations on the route after 46 years. Kenya Railways Managing Director Philip Mainga says they already have orders to haul assorted consolidated cargo, cement, potatoes and other heavy bulk freight on the rehabilitated line.
The Gilgil-Nyahururu railway line was constructed in the 1920s, with operations commencing in 1929. The railway opened up the Aberdare Highlands and parts of the Rift Valley, facilitating movement of agricultural produce, livestock, timber and passengers. However, low freight volumes and the poor state of the rail led to the suspension of services on the railway line. Today, the line resumes with optimism from traders, businesses and travelers.
One of the key issues that we are going to reduce is the cost of transportation for these people who are moving those containers from abroad, from China, from India, from other places.
The line is expected to support farmers and traders access more local and export markets.
We have several orders also of commodities that are going to be transported through this line. And one of the key commodities, as I mentioned, is fertilizer. We have orders from Abuli cement that are going to be coming here. We have beverages and wholesalers who are coming in large numbers.
The Gilgil station will serve as a major station for passengers on the route, and this is why.
The last time I was discussing with the county government here, they have been setting up a factory for value addition on potatoes.
The revival of this rail is important, more so for the passengers along this route, and what's more, the cargo that is supposed to be railed through this sector is one that has been for the history books. Alan Oko on the Gilgil-Nyahururu train.
Now, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi is calling on African countries to move away from aid dependency and embrace trade, investment, industrialization, value addition as the continent seeks deeper economic cooperation with South Korea. Speaking at the Korea-Africa Ministerial meeting in Seoul, Mudavadi said Africa should leverage strategic partnership to drive sustainable growth, create jobs and strengthen its position in global value chains. He says stronger private sector-led collaboration would accelerate industrialization and create jobs.
Our meeting takes place amid growing geopolitical turbulence that has disrupted economic cooperation and development. This is alongside concerns over the erosion of the United Nations' role in conflict resolution and rising threats to multilateralism. In this context, the Global South must begin to strategically prepare for the world beyond the current order. This is an opportune moment for us to rethink and recalibrate our trade pathways.
Growing tourism numbers is creating new opportunities for travel businesses and helping drive job creation, particularly among young people. Tripoli Chief Executive Peter Washira says technology is becoming increasingly important in improving efficiency, enhancing customer experience and expanding market reach. Washira is also underscoring the need for enhancing support for travel businesses.
We're celebrating trust. We're celebrating consistency. We are celebrating ambition We're celebrating the businesses that are growing, serving customers, creating jobs, supporting tourism, and actually moving the travel industry.
The future of tourism belongs to those who are willing to innovate, collaborate, and embrace change. As an industry, we must continue working together to build a tourism sector that is competitive, resilient, sustainable, and beneficial. We are confident that you will contribute 10% in terms of youth employment in this industry, and we have estimated that if every one tourist that land in the destination, 11 jobs are created directly and indirectly. So that's how important you are powering this economy.
Now, Russia has effected a 6-month ban on aviation fuel exports to safeguard domestic supplies as the country faces refinery disruptions caused by Ukraine's escalating attacks on energy infrastructure. The ban applies to fuel purchased on the exchange. More details next in our international news.
Uganda declared its latest Ebola outbreak on May 15th after confirming an imported case involving a Congolese national who had traveled from the eastern region of the Democratic Republic of Congo, the epicenter of the current regional outbreak, to seek treatment in Uganda. Strict travel advisories from countries like the US, UK and Canada, from where most tourists to Uganda come, are worsening the situation for the industry. Tourism industry players say the Ebola outbreak is scaring tourists away and hitting the local economy hard. Uganda receives nearly 1.6 million international visitors every year, bringing in about $2.5 billion US. Meanwhile, Russia has effected a 6-month ban on aviation fuel exports to safeguard domestic supplies as the country faces refinery disruptions caused by Ukraine's escalating attacks on energy infrastructure. The ban applies to fuel purchased on the exchange. Exceptions include fuel in process tanks used by aircraft en route, batches of jet fuel placed under custom clearance prior to the entry into force of the temporary restriction, and supplies under intergovernmental agreements. The move removes another major supplier from an already strained global jet fuel market at a time when airlines and fuel traders are scrambling for alternative sources. Finally, Malaysia is enforcing new rules barring children under the age of 16 from opening social media accounts, joining a growing number of countries seeking to strengthen online safety protections for minors. Under the regulations, major platforms including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok and YouTube must implement age verification systems and prevent under-16s from creating accounts, with companies facing fines of up to $2.5 million for non-compliance. The Malaysian government says the measures are designed to shield children from harmful content, cyberbullying and platform features that encourage excessive use, while stressing that the rules are not intended to block young people from accessing digital technology.
Now, on to sports news. The national men's soccer team, Harambee Stars, left the country today ahead of their international friendly match against Lesotho. Kenya will face Lesotho in a 2-legged fixture, with the first tie set to be played Thursday, June 4th, at the Lucas Moripe Stadium, Pretoria, South Africa. The second match will be held at the same venue 3 days later. At the same venue, Kenya was scheduled to play Christian and Palestine, but the decision was quashed, with FKF terming logistical challenges as the reason for the changes. Now, Harambee Stars head coach Benny McCarthy, in the meantime, has run challenges to the initial squad announced 2 weeks ago. Job Ochieng, Ryan Ogam and Brian Omondi have been excluded from the squad, and in places of Amos Nondi, Kelly Madada and Brian Brewery were called up. Kenya is using the friendlies to prepare for the 2027 AFCON qualifiers, though having already qualified as co-host. Kenya is pooled in Group D alongside South Africa, Eritrea and Guinea.
8, 6, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 3, 3, play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. One more. That's far.
The two friendly matches came at a good time because it was just the season is finished, and we have a lot of new Kenyan base players that's playing abroad and that we haven't had an opportunity to watch them, unfortunately. So now this gives us a good indication of to see the levels and the quality they have compared to previous teams that we've had. Then it just added more to the potential that the team has, and by the time September comes, when it's the African qualification matches, and you see the group that we have: South Africa, Guinea, and Eritrea. So
our take is just to win, because we are building a team, and you know that African Cup of Nations is in Kenya. So this is the best time to build a team that will be ready for next year. So this kind of friendlies are always good for us.
I had a good season. I scored a lot of goals, and I'm trying to carry that confidence and momentum to Kenya, and hopefully I can give a few good performances for the country.
Very explosive. I'm a good line keeper, and in Europe it's very important to also be good with the feet, so I can play really good with the feet, and I'm good in the short passes and stuff. So I think I'm also a good playing goalkeeper, but the best on the line.
Now, Vetlab Sports Club's Ebel Molo staged a remarkable final round, a resurgent Southern Golf Club to win the Coronation and Bender Trophy. Ebel carded a brilliant level per 72 to secure a victory in a 52-hole in the final round of the event against his competitors William Odek and Eugene Wafula. After opening with a 78 and following up with a 76, he saved his best for last, finishing with a total of 7 over par 226 strokes. Odek put up a spirited fight to finish in second place with a total of 9 over par 228, while Muthaiga Golf Club's Eugene Wafula secured the third position with a total of 10 over par 229. Elsewhere, 6 more golfers have punched their tickets to the prestigious NCBA Golf Series Grand Finale following outstanding performances during the Moy Air Base Golf Club MAG held on Saturday. The qualifiers will join golfers from other clubs to battle for the ultimate prize during the Grand Finale set for Karen Country Club on November 28, 2026. The tournament, which saw a turnout of 83 golfers, also saw Rosalind Kariswe had a 63 net of a handicap of 50 to win the guest prize. The next series in a regional double-header on June 13, which will see Kakamega Golf Club MAG and the Uganda Golf Club qualifier take place. Well, that brings us to the end of our bulletin this afternoon. Thank you for watching. Our sign language interpreter is Lensal Dingo. I'm Jackie Wimbiru. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Lights on, volume up. This is where stories come alive. From local drama that hits close to home.
Huyu ni nani? Alinivamia akiwa na vijana wengine wawili. Toka nje. Hii nyumba yako. Yote ni porojo.
To international series everyone's talking about. Stories that pull you in. Characters you won't forget.
Stop complaining and just get out of here. Go now, go.
We turn up the volume with music that moves, showcases rising stars and bring the beat straight to your living room. And when it's time to talk, we don't hold back.
How is everything going?
Real conversations, big personalities, the issues, the loves, the moment everyone's debating the next day. Every show, every night, different voices, one destination. This is television that feels alive, unpredictable, and missable.
Kila mwisho wa juma kwenye runinga yako ya KBC Channel 1.
Tunakuletea Mkulima.
Ni kipindi cha kila mtu.
Iwe wewe ni mkulima mdogo, mkulima mkubwa, muuzaji au mnunuzi,
au yeyote anayenuia kuanzisha kilimo ama ufugaji. Tazama Mkulima kila Jumamosi saa 10:30.
Ambapo kilimo na fursa zinapatikana.
And welcome to the biggest, the baddest entertainment show right here in the 254 with yours truly, the Party Daddy. Now, weekend has been long, but we are back again, man. Happy Madaraka Day, man. Event has been, kumekuwa na events mingi sana over the weekend, but we are here to take you through all the recap. Now, as our usual weekly ritual, yeah, we are back with Nikita Karing. Now, this time round, I'm going to drop a brand new EP dubbed Lick Back. Now, this one is a reflection of Nikita stepping into her new era of music. Yes, as an independent artist. Now, EP, it's a 5-track EP. Another unique thing about this EP, I'm going to combine different genres in it. Tuko na R&B, tuko na dancehall, alafu with a splash of the Kenyan genge tone. Inimbaya, yeah, inimbaya. Again, the number one track in this EP inaitwa Niache, or rather, Leave Me Alone. Now, if you listen to it, you will agree with me that it's intimate and intentional. Woo! What do you think about it? Let's now dive straight into the business of the night with yours truly, the Party Daddy as the host. Let's go. Ningekuwa msanii wa sanaa ya silaha, ningekuwa na jamii ya masadam kama saba na mabunduki na makofia kabila. You already know, man, tonight I'm speaking old school, I'm dancing old school, I'm jamming old school, because we are right here at the Carnival Restaurant for yet another edition of The Culture. Now tonight, we are celebrating the Kenya Old School Jams, man, straight from the 254, man. We're talking about Kidum, Afril, we're talking about Camp Mula Baby. Also hosted by Shafi Weru alongside Sanai Peitande. You know, when you talk about old school, those are the guys that take us way back in the old school, man. What more do you need? How about I welcome you straight to the culture? Let's go.
The spirit of Kenyan music nostalgia met contemporary vibes at Carnival Grounds yesterday as culture. R&B with a touch of pop brought together some of the country's most celebrated artists for a night of timeless hits and unforgettable memories. From the moment gates opened, fans were treated to a musical journey that blended classic Kenyan R&B, hip-hop, and pop, proving that good music truly stands the test of time.